Welcome to Tainan, the oldest city of Taiwan. Here you'll find the oldest public school, which is housed inside the oldest Confucius temple, or孔庙, on the island.
I'm Michella. I grew up in the Silicon Valley and was a journalist in Taiwan for 10 years. I like to skateboard, DIY things, and travel. I'm going to show you around the Taiwan that I know. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do.
I want to take you on a walking tour today, but we can cheat a little and take the Taiwan Tourist Shuttle 88 Anping route part of the way.
You can use an Easy Card or iPass to tag on and off the bus, and the fare is 18 or 36 NT, depending on how far you go. You can buy and charge these at convenience stores.
We're at Tainan train station, and Confucius Temple is here.
Taiwan tourist shuttles are great. They take you to tourist attractions. If you don't know where you want to go, get a brochure and figure it out on the bus. Today's theme is Oldest in Taiwan, and I want to bring you to the oldest Confucian temple, the oldest public school, the oldest department store, and then to one of the oldest and most nostalgic streets in Tainan.
This is Confucius Temple, which has a 3-star Michelin Green Guide rating, which means you probably don't want to miss it. Now this place has a special meaning to me. I'll tell you about it later.
Tainan was once a Dutch colony used for trade, but after Koxinga, a Chinese official, drove them out in 1661, the Chinese government decided to develop the area. To foster culture and education, they built this Confucian temple and schoolhouse in 1665.
These are the mortuary tablets of some of Confucius's most famous students. Intellect was considered to be quite holy. When Confucius was still alive in the 400 to 500s BC, he told his students, "When I die, do not worship me, for I am just a teacher." But students don't often do what they're told, do they? Schoolhouses were often attached to Confucian temples. This school was more like a college or a graduate school. Earlier I said that this particular Confucian temple has special meaning to me. In 1915, my great-grandparents on my godmother's side were married here in this classroom. And turning tradition completely on its head, they decided to come to the wedding in a tuxedo and a Western wedding dress. I guess rebelliousness runs in the family. I love this area. You can eat your way through to your next destination. Over there is a place where you can get fresh cut fruit, and just a few doors down is where you can get steamed meatballs. I'm going to get this. Meat buns. These are really, really good.
Next, let's walk over to Hayashi Department Store, the oldest remaining department store in Taiwan. It was opened during the Japanese occupation in 1932 by a Japanese businessman named Hoichi Hayashi.
There's 6 stories here, and it was the tallest and perhaps even the most decadent building in Tainan at the time. In the 1930s, popular music started to pick up, people started going out dancing, and department stores started popping up here and there. So I think it was pretty good times.
But World War II broke out in the 40s, and Tainan was heavily bombed by the Americans.
you can still see some of the bullet holes left by attack aircraft. Eventually, Japan lost the war and they left Taiwan. But since this was still the tallest building around, when the KMT came, they decided to install 50 anti-aircraft machine guns on the roof. A couple of posts from those days are still here. That one, and this one.
And one more in the middle of the Japanese shrine. This building was left quite damaged, then used by various government offices over the years and abandoned until it was restored to its former glory and finally reopened in 2014. It's a nice place now. I personally like it. Now we're headed for Shenong Street, where it's especially nostalgic at night. The area was kind of like Venice, where there are canals that people went up and down in small boats. This was one of the 5 canals that used to be here. Boats would bring in goods like cloth, Chinese herbal medicine, or perhaps dried food ingredients to the back door of these buildings. The merchandise would then be unloaded, brought to the front of the building where the shop is to be sold. When you look at these buildings from the front, nothing seems out of the ordinary. But from the side, you'll notice that they're really, really long. Families needed this space to live, to store inventory, and to do business in the storefront. So 70 meters. This is one house. Wow. This area used to be a very busy business district, but now it's developing into a quiet, cafe, artsy sort of area. Might not seem like much during the day, but it makes for a great after-dinner stroll. Tainan is one of those places that I keep coming back to. It keeps reinventing itself, but bringing back some of the history which has been lost. The wonderful thing about traveling here is that most of the places you'd want to go are within walking distance. And with a tourist shuttle bus, you can save time and even go further. I love Tainan, and you might too. You should come.